Alright, everyone, I'm back. Um, Alright, let's try this again. Oh, lost my train of thought, or where I left off at. Um, so, we must learn what these things mean. That's why we have to seek for ourselves. Seeking for yourself and not looking to others for answers is the way you're supposed to go. Um, that is important because people will lead you astray. Don't even take my word for it. Seek for yourself. Study it. Well, Scripture says, study to show yourself approved. So if you're doing the work, you're doing the seeking, you will get the understanding and the perspective that you need. He will tell you. Now the thing is, once he starts showing you, if you really want it, what are you going to do with the information that you receive? I see so many people in religion that's not living according to the scripture, but they saying that they're saved. But your life is supposed to reflect the Most High. Your life is supposed to be a reflection of Yeshua. What's the Christianity says Jesus. It says he's supposed to lead and guide and direct you in truth and righteousness. He says he's supposed to become a new creature. How can you become a new creature if you're doing the same thing? How? What's new about that? What's different about it? See, the thing is, we're only willing to give up certain things. And that's not right. You're supposed to give it all up for the Most High. All. And the thing is, once you understand these basic principles, once you get it in your head, you have to really get it up here. Come to an understanding. Yes, Yeshua is the key to the Most High. You can't get to the Most High without him. But you must understand how he leads and directs us. You must understand that I started this off talking about love. I'm trying to make sure I don't go away from what my intent to go. Because I just know love is one of those words that get messed up or get used wrong. So if you understand who Yeshua is, what it means, you got to understand he came and did, so he understands what we go through. He lived it, so therefore he can show us how to live, how we must become. See, the thing is, it says Lord, but a lot of things use these words that have multiple meanings. And that's the thing. We must get understanding of the meaning of these words that have been changed. Like Lord, love, God. There's a lot of words that are used vaguely. And we must go back and get the true meaning of what these words mean. Because once you get the true meaning of these words, then you know really what it is that you must do or how you must do it. So Lord really is like saying teacher or someone in authority over you. They used to say Lord far as the king, priest. The title Lord was used around. So Yeshua really is your teacher. He's the one that come to train you in the things or the ways of the Most High Yah. So once you understand that, he's not Elohim, but he sent him to represent him and to help us, to lead us back to our Elohim, because we failed. We needed a Savior. So that's how he became our Savior, the one to save us. So once you get an understanding of these practical things, then this journey will mean a lot more to you. You will receive it in your heart, because that's what the Father looks at. He looks at your heart. Your heart reflects your actions. Your actions, the things out of your mouth are reflected by your actions. So a lot of times you say what you feel. So he don't look at, you can say anything out your mouth to trick me. a person. But you can't trick the Most High. So, therefore, why it says that we must change. See, we waiting on the Father to change. He's not going to change. He's going to be sitting right there waiting on you to come to him while you're waiting on him, and we are doing it backwards. In part 1, I says that everything that we have been taught is backwards. It's the opposite of the way it's supposed to be. So, again, because I'm here to help you understand this, because I had to learn it. I told you, seeking the truth, I had to gain perspective so I can know what I'm supposed to do. So I'm only sharing with you on what I receive so that I can help you in the way that it has helped me. Because I know there's a lot of lost people out there. And you don't have a lot of people that's giving you answers. Alright, so I will give you a few scriptures like I do, but the thing is, you must go and seek for yourself. You must get in prayer. You must call out to him with your whole heart. You must yield yourself. You must yield yourself to the Most High. You must be willing to give up your ways 100% when it's come to seeking the Most High. You must mean it in here. And whatever change that he's trying to do, you got to allow him to change you. Don't be stubborn and hard-headed. Alright? So, let's see. Another thing is commands. It speaks on, you hear the law of commands. And I know a lot of people don't understand what that means also. They go always speak the 10 Commandments. And, of course, those are real. But it's a lot more that we were supposed to be held accountable for. Oh man. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. Because it is a lot of deception. A lot of deception. And like I said, we are supposed to change and reflect the Most High. And I see so many people in religion that are doing things that the scriptures tell us don't do, and then they'll say that, well, Yeshua came to change that. He took those things away. We don't have to abide by them. You need to get in the scriptures and learn the Father's characters to understand him. Some things never change. You can't change them just because you don't want to do something. So, religion still has people sinning, and they think that they are saved. And that's a lie. You've been deceived. You have been deceived. So, I see a lot of deception. And I'm trying to stay on topic because it can easily go into me explaining what I'm talking about, but I don't want to veer off. But it's a lot of deception going on. I had someone tell me we don't have to look into the Old Testament no more. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you want to learn the Most High true characteristics, you better read the Old Testament. You better read it all. And you seek him so that those things that have been changed or manipulated, he can show you and reveal it to you. So you can know what it really means. Because it's a lot. But going back to commands, that's another one that people think that we don't have to obey nothing. That all we gotta do is confess with our mouth and we're saved. No, you don't. It ain't just confessing, saying something with your mouth. Your mouth don't mean nothing to the Most High. It's your heart. Your heart reflects your actions. When we go out around people, we're supposed to reflect the Most High. But majority of the time, we are reflecting the world that we're in, which is Satan's kingdom. We are not. So we have to turn that around. Because how can you go to the Most High for help when you're not living for him or living how he tell you? Why should he help you? Why? What have you did to earn his help? You're not living for him. You're not doing what he says. So why should he be obligated to help you? That's called mercy. That's his grace. If he do it, he doing it because he want to, not because you earned it or you deserved it. So, again, we must change. We must change our perspective. This stuff sometimes is common sense, but we make it difficult. It's common sense. So, the commands, yes, it's a lot of commands. But the thing is, when I went back to the Bible, it tells you what happens, but a lot of the rules, the things that he told us don't do, have been taken out. A lot of things have been removed. So you have to seek him so he can lead you to that, to show you. But a command is only basically doing what he say do. He might tell me to do something that he might not tell you to do. All our calls are different. So the command basically is to do what he's telling you to do. Because this is a journey. So you're not going to get everything bunched up on you. Sometimes you might get a piece here, you might get a piece there. It's different levels to this. Somebody might be somewhere else that you ain't, and you might be somewhere else that somebody else ain't reached. But what he tell you to do is going to be different. So you must do what he's calling you to do. Not looking at your neighbor to the left or to the right, but what he's telling you to do. You focus on that, and you stand on that word that he tell you. And if you show you something, seek understanding. Get a discernment for it to make sure. Don't follow people. Follow the Most High. People will lead you astray because they don't know what your journey is about. Sometimes they may have to go through something that you might not have to go through, and they will tell you, oh, you got to go through this first. And that may be not your case. It may be simple for you, but it was difficult for them because it depends on the mind frame that the Most High trying to teach you and train you and get you to see. Therefore, that's why we have to seek, so he can open our eyes and open our ears so that way we can see spiritually and understand and hear spiritually. So that way our walk will be spiritually. So when we go forth out here, then it's directing our path. So this is stuff that is not really taught for you to get an understanding. That's why I say you seek him for yourself. I can't stress that enough. So, yeah, commands is another one of them things. Like I said, like love. What else did I say? Lord, God. A lot of things, the words have been changed and got multiple meanings, but we have to get the right meaning for those words. All right, John chapter 14. John 14, and this is verse 21. All right, and this says, whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. See what it says? Who has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father. And I too will love them and show myself to them. See? This is not emotions. This is not emotions when it says this love. It says whoever has my commands. So commands, okay, so he say my commands. So if I give you a command, it ain't nothing for you. How do you have a command when you're doing it? When you're doing it, when you're obeying, when you're doing what it says, what he tell you to do. That's how, again, you show love in an act of obedience and respect. Then it says, the one who loves me, basically by doing what I ask, will be loved by my Father. Again, you can't get to the Father unless you go through the Son. It all work hand in hand. Alright? And it says, I will love them and show myself to them. So as you start seeking and getting perspective, he will begin to show himself to you. See, all these things is gifts. It's not automatic. That means you have to put in work to earn it. When I mean put in work, I don't mean like you can work your way and just do it. And no, you show it with your actions and your heart. You're going to want to do it. You're not forced to do it. You want to do right. That's like when someone asks you to watch something or protect something. You're doing it as though it's your own. They don't have to beg you. You're just ready. You just take it, that responsibility on for yourself. Kindness, it comes from the heart. I mean, like, that's what I mean by putting in work. It's not force. You want to do it. You see? And that's the difference. That's like doing right when no one ain't looking. When you do the right thing, just because it's just in you to do it. You do it 100%. You don't cut corners. You don't cheat. Because, oh, ain't nobody watching, I can get away with this. No, the Most High is watching you. That's why I say He know your heart. You do all things as though you want to be done to yourself. Again, I started off, treat your neighbor as you love your neighbor as you love yourself. Respect other people like you will want to be respected. See, that comes from the heart. It's natural. It's not forced. So that's why when I say when you do the work or the command, you're doing it naturally. You're not doing it for a reward. You're doing it just because it's supposed to be done, or this is the way it's supposed to be did. All right. All right. So, I had different things that I had written. Trying to figure out which way to go with this right now. I think this was another subject. Alright. So, I'm going to read this here. And this is Yeshua talking to Peter. This is how an example used for you when it says to love. Or getting back to love. And this is John chapter 21, verse 15 through 22. Alright, 15 through 22. Alright, so, and I read, when they had finished eating, Yeshua, which the Bible said Jesus, said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Alright, so when it says this, what would you think? You be looking at other people. Do you love me more than them? That's our first thing. Well, how do you know how much someone loves someone? You don't know. So we have to get out of our emotions again. When we're looking and reading things, remove the emotions, the feelings part from it. Alright? So he said, yes, Lord, which basically I told you, Lord can mean teacher. He's teaching you something. Alright? He said, you know I love you. Yeshua said, feed my lambs. Alright, let me turn this camera around some. Say, feed my lambs. Alright, again, Yeshua asks, Simon, son of John, do you love me? See, Peter probably thinking with his heart, emotions. Alright, he answered, yes, Lord, you know I love you. Then Yeshua said again, take care of my sheep. Alright. The third time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Then it says, Peter was hurt because Yeshua asked him the third time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Alright? Then Yeshua said again, feed my sheep. Very truly I tell you, when you were younger, you dressed yourself and went where you wanted. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands, and someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. Alright? Then it says, Yeshua said this to indicate the kind of death that how Peter would die. Then he said at the end of that, follow me. Now going to verse 20. Peter turned and saw the disciples whom Yeshua loved, was following them. Alright, I'm going to skip the parentheses because a lot of times when something is parentheses, that's man version of it. That don't mean it's the truth. That's just man perspective and the version of what they're trying to get us to think. We have to seek the Most High for what He wants us to think. Yeshua words was in red. We read the red. You got to be careful of when people, a man, add parentheses into to insinuate something. All right. So I'm skipping down to verse 21. When Peter saw him, he asked, "Lord, what about him?" And then Yeshua said, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me." All right. Again, don't pay attention to your neighbors. Don't worry about somebody else's calling. You worry about your own calling. Your salvation is what you need to be worrying about. That's why I read, when you go back up here, he says that, "Do you love me more of these?" And so Peter looked at it like it was a competition. Like, when he looked at these, and I'm sitting here like, how do you know how someone loves the Most High? Or love Yeshua? So you have to come out of that judging yourself according to others. Sometimes we look at our neighbor. No, pay attention to what's in front of you. All right. Then he said, "Feed my lamb. If you love me, feed my lamb." So lamb is basically his followers. Lambs are like sheep. They follow their leaders. All right. So basically he's telling him, I need you to be a leader to my sheep. If you love me, you will lead my sheep. Teach my people. Lead my people if you love me. See, so Peter has to do something. He has to do something. So it ain't love as in an emotion. It's love as in it's an action. Do something. Do. Feed my sheep. If you love me, you would represent me before my sheep. That's basically what you have to do. Too many leaders want to be catered to and now are not catering to the sheep or the lamb or the people that the Most High has put in your care. You're not leading them. Yeshua washes people's feet. I don't see no pastors out there washing their feet, but they're having their feet and their hands out, want people to kiss their hand, or they're putting their feet out for people to serve them. But that's not how a true leader is. A true leader serves. But we have too many that want to be served, that are too good to serve others. See, backwards. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So, therefore, I'm here to represent and to help you and to lead you to who you're supposed to be led to. Said, lead my sheep. So, give you these things and help show you, give you some perspective so you can get some understanding. Alright? He says, Simon, he asked him 3 times, "Do you love me?" He said, "Feed my lamb, take care of my sheep." Now he's holding him accountable. These are commands. Remember I tell you, he gives certain people commands. A command is something he needs you to do. He may give it to you and not to someone else. But this is your responsibility. He's giving Peter responsibility right now. Feed my sheep, take care of my sheep. They're in your hands, basically, is what he's saying. Lead them. Alright? But there's so many, because there's so many lost sheep out here today, they don't have no leaders. They looking for their leaders, but they don't have any. Where are the leaders? Where are the true teachers? Alright? Then he says, "Simon Peter, do you love me?" And Peter got frustrated, like, "I told you, I love you. How many times I got to keep telling you this?" Then he said, "Feed my sheep again." And then again, of course, he says, "When you were younger, you dressed yourself and went where you wanted to be." So he went on in there, he prophesied to Peter right now. Because the way Peter died, he was carried. He didn't want to. He was forced. He was in prison when they basically did this. They hung him upside down. Alright. So that's what that part is, which basically that's a prophecy that has nothing to do